Hey friends, how are we? Welcome back to another episode of the Strong and Fit Women of Faith podcast, here live on Apple, or maybe you're watching us on YouTube. So hello, say hi if you're checking us out on YouTube, drop replay below. And today we are talking about a concept that we really don't speak much about. And I want to bring some awareness to this because it can really help make a huge difference in your health, in your movement, in your body, and the quality of your life. And this is all about inflammation, right? We tend to talk about this like when we're 60s, 70s, 80s, but my friend, it starts happening now in our 30s and 40s. And especially as we are entering into that perimenopause phase. And so I want to talk about inflammation from a couple different angles to help you be able to see, again, if your body is just not feeling right, if you're sore, you're achy, your joints hurt, and some different things happening, this will kind of bring some awareness of maybe what's going on and some things that you can do to start making some changes to start feeling better. So key thing is, as we start moving towards perimenopause, our estrogen levels start dropping. And so when our estrogen levels start decreasing, inflammation increases. And inflammation is normal in the body, but when we have a high or higher levels of inflammation than what is normal, it can cause systemic problems, and it can lead to organ damage to your arteries, to your joints, because it increases the risk of heart disease, arthritis, dementia, and more, right? Say no, thank you, right? We don't want that. And so some signs of increased inflammation is body discomfort, joint stiffness, tendinitis, muscle pain. And I will say, we'll talk more on this, but muscle pain could also come from some soreness, but there's a difference between pain and soreness from an exercise or working out, okay? So even sleep issues can be a sign of increased inflammation in your body, like sleep apnea or persistent fatigue can be signs, as well as weight gain or unexplained weight loss, right? And so if we are having more weight on our frame than is ideal for our frame and for our skeletal system, it can cause undue stress, right? Which then can increase inflammation levels. And then again, we have problems with those joints, right? Because the weight that we're carrying is not ideal for our body frame and structure. So what do we do here, right? So if we're having these things, if we're experiencing this discomfort, and we know that, like, oh, I know I have too much inflammation. Maybe you've had labs done and you realize your inflammation markers are way high and you want to do something naturally about it. The great news is they're simple. Let me say that again, simple things that you can do. And the best part, they are right in line with living a healthy lifestyle. Super simple. So it's a few tweaks that you can make naturally that can help you reduce inflammation and get you to feeling better. So one thing is focusing on fiber-rich carbohydrates. Okay, this is like berries, artichokes, broccoli, pears, apples, spinach, chia seeds. These are all fiber-rich carbohydrates. And fiber is going to help your body with reducing those inflammation markers, okay, the way that your body processes it. Other option is looking at the types of fats that you're eating. Fats is one of your 3 macronutrients. So healthy fats would be, nuts, nut butters, avocado oil, extra virgin olive oil, coconut oil, coconut milk, right? Avocados. These are all healthy, clean sources of fat. Chia seeds are also in there. Hemp seed hearts are up in there. Cocoa nibs. So having healthy fats works well with the fiber and allows your body to have the healthy omegas that actually help with reducing your inflammation markers, okay, your inflammatory markers. We have to be mindful of the omegas. We want the good omegas, not the bad omegas, okay? And we're going to have some of each, the omega-6 and omega-3s. We want to make sure the healthier fats are higher in our diet than those more, I should say, less beneficial omegas, right? And we want to limit or avoid alcohol. Alcohol has sugar, right? Majority of it is sugar, which is going to increase those inflammatory markers. And then focus on lean quality protein. Know where your food is sourced from. Do the best that you can in regards to, if you can, have organic or source from a local butcher. If you have those options, just because the way that your meat's processed, as in where it comes from, how the animals are treated, If there's high stress that's going on with them, they have more cortisol in the blood. And guess what? It's in the meat. And you're going to have those enzymes and hormones in the meat that you eat. And so the more quality lean protein we have, the better. And protein is thermogenic. It's one of the most thermogenic of the macronutrients. It's going to allow your body to feel full, satiated. It's also going to regulate your blood sugars and your cortisol levels, right? Which affect your inflammatory markers. So the best news, though, I think, is that a lot of these things is what you focus on to have a healthy diet, right? To be able to fuel your body for optimum performance, right? We all want to feel good, right? Like I want to wake up in the morning, have energy and be ready for my day and not feel sluggish and tired and bloated and blah, right? So the things I just listed are things you can do now, period, that are going to have you feeling that way. And as you reduce the inflammation, you're going to have that result. That's the outcome you're going to have, right? And so to reduce inflammation, it's the same thing to create a healthy lifestyle with your food. You know, having more intention of what you're eating and drinking, right, will get your body functioning well. And one thing I will say here is these are healthy habits, but we also want to focus on our physical fitness as well, because it all works together. So with exercising, daily movement, as well as strength training 2 to 3 times a week to keep your bones, joints, and muscles in tip-top shape would be the last thing I would add and suggest on this, right? Now, I know some of you might be saying, but Carrie, strength training will cause inflammation. Yes, it does. But the type of inflammation that it causes is a repair type of inflammation. So the inflammation is created because of the microfiber tears that are happening inside the muscle from strength training, right? That's the purpose. We're breaking down the muscle during exercise. Inflammation happens to help start the repair process of mending those microfiber tears, coupled with the protein you're taking in. They work together collectively to heal and mend and grow new lean muscle tissue. Okay. And so this is the process, and we want to have that. So inflammation is normal in the body, and we need that. It's a repair process. But when we have too much, then it starts causing chaos inside the body, and it starts coming out through different external, right, symptoms that I mentioned earlier. So keeping inflammation in check is key, especially as we get in our 40s, ladies, and beyond. Is again, our estrogen's dipping, which means inflammation is going to go up because we're not having that regulatory hormone anymore. So we have to do more with our food and our exercise and movement and our recovery. Recovery meaning we're not going hard 7 days a week and not giving our body, our muscles, our joints rest, right? Rest is just as important. So I have 2 things for you to keep you on this path. So especially on that point of recovery, there is a stress-free summit. And I love this. It's with Mary Beth Weimer. She asked me to be a speaker in this summit. And it's April, I'm going to say 12th through the 14th. I'll drop the link below where you can register. Replays will be available. So if you can't make it to watch, they'll be available. You register and be able to get each of the speakers. And it's really helping you to move through this life in a way that has you resting in Him, right? Versus ourself. Instead of looking for external things, right? We're really coming back in and focusing on resting in the person of Jesus. And there'll be multiple speakers on different topics of how we really find that stress-free living through the word and not the world. And it's just, I'll link it below so you can get registered. And the second thing I want to share with you is in regards to the physical fitness. And if that's something where you're just getting started, you're trying to get back into it, or you've been doing it, but you're not sure if what you're doing is really working, how do you switch things up? Should you switch things up? And you have questions around really creating and getting the tools to be able to keep building on so you can keep getting those results where you're getting stronger and you're leaning out, you're having more muscle tone and development, right? Because you want a strong and fit physique for anything that comes your way, right? So if that's for you, and you've really gotten some nuggets out of here, then come to our upcoming masterclass. It's going to be at the end of this month, April. So depending on when you're listening to this, it'll be April. It's called Fitness 101, Back to Basics for Women 40 Plus. We're really honing back in because our 20s and 30s, we might have been doing some crazy workouts and we're like, hey, this is not quite fitting into what I can do now or that I want to do or that my body wants me to do. So we're really going to bring it back to basics and show you how you can, with as little as 10 minutes a day, start building and shaping and creating that body composition that you're after and having that strength and fit it into the time and capacity that you have, right? So that will be at the end of this month. I will link that below so you can get registered for it. It will be on Zoom live with me. So definitely try to be there live, put it in your calendar, because we'll have time at the end for some Q&A. And the replay will be available for a very short time. And if you want it additional, then you can purchase it at a very small cost. So you have that in your library to reference back. So I would love to keep this conversation going, my friends. So as always, I want to invite you to come into the Strong and Fit Women of Faith Facebook group. Let's continue this conversation. If there's certain topics, if there's things you want to go deeper on or have a better understanding of, please reach out, send me a DM on Facebook, hop into the Facebook group and drop your questions there or your desire of what you would like to hear more and learn more about, and tag me there. And I'm definitely will take that in consideration and put some more shows together that really meet you where you are. So thanks for joining me today, and I will see you all next week.